The amount of pugs who are listing groups for the current raid is the largest I've seen in years. The total amount of passes is 4,133,000. Now this gives you a good glimpse of how enormously huge retail actually is.
All right, yo, next video we have is a Monka S video. Why everyone is playing retail WoW?
I am Witcher Pie, the extremely opinionated and controversial big dick online figure who is always correct about everything. Proud defender of retail WoW and complete annihilator of classic boomers, award-winning professional debater, and a tasteful shit talker.
Oh man, his ratio's bad.
Mr. Ass Mongol Dick. Today, we're going to react and debunk some lies and myths, as we usually do on this channel. We're going to discuss the matters of why Mythic Plus seems to be doing a lot worse than expected in Dragonflight, why the raids have so much less guild participation than ever before, why all of the above is in fact a bunch of bullshit, why most idiots online can't read and understand a graph or stat correctly, and finally, why Dragonflight is actually an enormous success that people haven't realized yet. Plus, this time I've got all the proof you might need, my sweet classic boomers. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and let's fucking begin.
Is the AI too? The fall of Mythic Plus, or is it?
For example, one of the first numbers you can look at is the current amount of population in Mythic Plus. Since we don't have the real numbers from Blizzard anymore, we haven't had them in a while, we can still try to gauge some numbers by,
I wish they would show us
at the unique characters completing a Mythic Plus key.
So that's 2.5 million.
Up to patch 10.1.5 of Season 2, the number is 2.5 million.
It's a pretty good amount.
Now, if you compare this to Dragonflight Season 1, the number is 6.7. So,
what the fuck?
That's a lot.
Oh my god.
You went from 6.7 to 2.5, which is like a 2.5 times drop of unique characters in Mythic Plus.
Jesus.
Now, we have comparisons. We have comparisons because, for example, we can go back to Shadowlands and notice that between Season 1, which had 8.2 million, and Season 2, which is 4 million,
so it's like half.
It's a 50% drop of player base.
So like Dragonflight lost even more people, which is like, that's crazy.
Yes, Season 2 saw a massive decrease in Mythic Plus runs. You want to guess why? Come on now, use that beautiful massive brain of yours. Okay, fine.
Raid?
I'll explain to you some of the reasons. First of all, because 2023 had massive games being released, you absolute idiot. The game of the fucking year, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, the massive resurgence of Cyberpunk 2077, and the release of Phantom Liberty.
We should play some Cyberpunk.
Starfield, but let's not talk about that. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4 and the DLC, Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Amnesia the Bunker, Armored Core 6, Diablo 4, The Last of Us Part 1, Lies of P, The Mage Seeker by Riot Games, Spider-Man 2,
oh wow, dude, we need to play Spider-Man 2 for sure.
Combat 1, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun, and many others. 2023 has been huge in gaming releases. I can't even remember when was the last time we had so many good games in the same fucking year. It's insane. And you're telling me that it's shocking to you that Dragonflight Season fucking 2 had a big decrease in Mythic Plus runs? Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
I do think that like now there are a lot more people, like there are a lot of games out. Like if there were no new games out, I'd probably be playing WoW right now. But because Starfield is coming out, because Blasphemous 2 came out, because Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Like for me, I haven't played that one, but I played Armored Core 6 because all these other games have come out. Diablo 4 came out. Like I'm playing other games.
Dude, I'm like one of the last breeds that just keeps playing WoW. I didn't play any of the new games.
Great year for games.
No shit.
Yeah, it is a good year.
Captain, you've cracked the matrix.
Really negative. I am one
And that
of
does take
those
people away from
players.
WoW.
Apparently,
For sure.
it's not even that much.
The raid numbers are very low. Okay. Or are they?
First tier of this expansion. Let's not look at mythic raiding because that's, you know, too small of a part of the player base to draw some numbers. You can look at heroic to see a much larger player base. If you go past the middle, besides the first freebie bosses, how many guilds, how many players went past the middle of the raid? It was.
I think he also forgot to mention like classic WoW stuff. Like hardcore started pretty damn big, and then season of discovery at the end of the year, I guess. I think this video is kind of new, right? Relatively new. But yeah, this community split. I know a lot of retail friends that started playing classic too. And it's only natural, like after season 1, season 2, it always has like a little bit of downfall because there's like expansion hype. Everyone wants to try the new expansion. They try it out. If they don't like it, they leave or they come back, whatnot. But I always stayed opinionated about Dragonflight. I don't think it was a bad expansion, man. I enjoyed for the most part. It's just I didn't want to get too sweaty and lose my life because I can't control myself trying to push arena or doing like mythic stuff. And I didn't want to lose my life over that. Classic is just way more chill. You could get sweaty, but it's like chill sweaty.
No, 13,500
It's not hard content.
in the first tier of this expansion compared to the first tier of Shadowlands, which was Castle Natria. It's not 13,500, it's 30,000 in Castle. No flame, no flame. This is a legitimate, serious question.
Oh my god.
Now let's talk about the raids, and here is where things will get very interesting. As you obviously can see, these Dragonflight raid graphs are really bad compared to Season 1 of Shadowlands, right? Well, actually no. These graphs are absolute dog shit and don't give the whole picture. Let me tell you why. First of all, let me give you an example. Now that we're almost in 2024, and it's been like a month and few weeks after the launch of the latest raid, Amir Drassel. Look at the numbers. Look. Our current Season 3 heroic raid, Amir Drassel, has almost the same fucking guild kills as the entire Season 2 raid heroic kills, and that's just only a month after the current raid launch. But of course, Asman is not going to talk about that. No, because only hating on retail is popular, as always. But that's not the main point. First of all, raiding guilds have been dying for years now. One of the main reasons is that you don't need to raid anymore to get the raid tier sets. You can just get some Mythic Plus gear and turn it into a tier piece with the help of the fucking Catalyst.
Sure.
The Catalyst not only killed the need to raid for tier sets, but also the need to fucking farm the raids to collect the cool raid transmogs. And there's a massive player base who does that.
As somebody who pugs heroic for weekly legendary, I can say pugging is really popular at the moment. Almost popular as Legion. Yeah, I think I mentioned it too in BlizzCon. The retail WoW section was the most biggest crowded area ever. And people were saying, oh, you're on Copium saying retail's popular, but retail's popular, chat. And when they did a poll on Twitter, like there was a lot more people playing retail WoW on the vote system too. It's not dead, but he's kind of right in a way. I don't think he needs to like blast Asmongold too hard, but I can see why he's mad about it, saying it's popular to hate on retail. I think that is kind of true too in a way. Yeah, I could see what's going on here.
Last time I was actively participating in a mythic raiding guild was back in Castle Nathria, first season of the Shadowlands expansion. And the only damn reason that I was so stupid to want to mythic raid is because of the chance to get the absolutely glorious Mythic Plate Castle Nathria Transmog set. So, why would I raid if I can get my gear from Mythic Plus, which is a lot more fun, a lot faster, and a lot more competitive than raiding will ever be? And let's be honest,
the raiding takes a lot of time too. If you're doing Mythic Raid, just progging, like dying over and over and over and over again until one of that last stupid guy figures out that same mistake he's been making, it could get pretty tiresome.
More atrocities of Shadowlands damaged retail WoW beyond repair, killing almost all the hype for it. The catalyst that I mentioned earlier, which released very late in the Shadowlands during Season 3, was one of the best things Blizzard has ever done. Thanks to this, I could literally get the entire mythic transmog of any current raid without the need to kill any mythic boss at all and repeatedly punch my own cock trying to raid with a guild. My point is that there are less reasons to raid in retail than ever before. And that's completely fine, because the people who do raid are the ones who actively enjoy it. Nobody is forced to raid if they don't want to anymore.
I think that's good. It's pretty.
But here's the catch, my little boomers. There is something very different going on with the current raid. For some reason, besides the shockingly decent amount of guilds raiding and clearing the raid so fucking early in the season, the amount of pugs who are listing groups for the current raid is the largest I've seen in years. I haven't seen that many probably from Castle Nathria times.
D.
That's kind of strange. Oh, I've got an idea. Let's have a look for the amount of passes for each class specialization for all the raids in Dragonflight.
Damn, that transmog
in
looks
Warcraft
fire.
logs. Let's see.
The one on the right.
First is the Vault, then the Shadowed Crucible. And here are the passes for Emir Drasil. Just a few resets into the season. Oh my sweet Jesus. Is your cock erect right now, gentlemen?
No.
I know you all love numbers and stats, so let's add up all these heroic passes for each raid and see exactly how much is the difference between them.
Okay.
First, let's see how big the first raid was. The total amount of passes seems to be 349,000. Okay, not bad.
Not bad.
The second raid's total passes are 143,000. That's kind of bad, but that's okay. Finally, the last and current raid. And again, please do not forget, it's only been out for a month and a couple of weeks. So let's see. The total amount of passes is 4,133,000.
It's a lot.
The difference is simply insane.
This reminds me
And
of
that,
comics.
my fellow boomers, is how you read stats and graphs. Now this gives you a good glimpse of how enormously huge retail actually is. Just imagine if we also had the humongous amount of LFR boss kills too. Because as we all know, 75 to 85 of the player base is mainly doing LFR raids actually.
But we also really think it's important to look at the whole spectrum, right? Not only from LFR, which is where, spoilers, the vast majority of our players actually experience it is in LFR, and then normal.
Wait a minute. You thought that's it? That's all? My sweet little boomer, the 4 million passes we talked about earlier were just for DPS classes and only on heroic difficulty. We didn't include Mythic, Normal, and LFR. And we didn't include tanks and healers passes.
Damn, I want to see the LFR number. I know a lot of people hate LFR, but the casual players, the majority of them do LFR only. And I know this because I was playing BFD as well, off stream, doing some dungeons, and man, so many people were asking for LFR in there. I was like, dude, I don't think you could put that in classic, but yeah, I get it that it's really popular and it's very demanding. People like that because they can't find time to like organize groups and whatnot. They just want to send it home, right?
Either.
Yeah.
So if we add up all the difficulties and all the numbers that we got, that makes a total sum of 10,060,183. Oh, and for all the idiots who think that Season of Discovery is such a better game and all that crap, come on, dude. Do you really want me to pull out the stats for Season of Discovery too? All right, but please bear in mind...
I don't think this is about stats. I think this is personally what you enjoy, right?
Retail has a weekly raid lockout, while SOD raids have only a 3-day lockout. So in theory, the amount of passes should be double or even triple the amount of retails, right?
So let's do a stat. Good morning, yo, Kobo. What's up, man? Nah, I think this guy's probably just sick of people hating on retail and saying classic's better. Is why he's going at this. This is a video though, so I
The
don't
latest
really care.
raid of Dragonflight has been an enormous success, and under no circumstance it should be, provided by my points earlier. But come on, it's probably just a silly coincidence that this happened, right? It's just a fucking silly coincidence that right now, only a few days before 2024, after people had plenty of time to play all the other great games that released earlier, that
That's a sick-ass
explosion in
sled.
retail raiding happened, right? Don't be fucking stupid. Nothing is a silly coincidence. And not only that. Amir Drassel launched on November 14th, and 2 weeks later, Season of Discovery launched on November 30th. So retail not only managed to get an astonishingly huge amount of people raiding again after all the changes that made raiding obsolete, but it managed to do so during the massive launch of Season of Discovery too, where many retail players, including myself, jumped into it. So how did this happen? Simply put, Season 3 of Dragonflight is objectively the best state retail probably has ever been before.
The retail
in our
graphic looks insane. I haven't seen retail graphic in so long, it feels like.
lifetimes. And let's be real, the Emerald Dream Zone and the Amir Drassel raid are just fucking amazing. They're masterpieces of modern art. Yes, the story finale could use some better writing, but overall it's just been incredible.
Not only the thing, but the lighting here looks awful, man. Like, what are these models? And the lighting is so bad. It's so bad, dude.
Dragonflight as an
Yeah, I hate how
expansion
they look,
has served
too.
as a reset for
It
the
looks like a
game
machinima
and has been fucking
somebody
owning
made
it
on
too.
YouTube.
It was never meant to be an epic, grand and glorious resurrection of WoW kind of expansion. Players were begging Blizz to finally have a simple and classic, down-to-earth adventure in Azeroth. None of that afterlife cock, sci-fi shit and old god's ass. And that's exactly what we got, which proved an
Did California have an earthquake? Dude, I felt like a
excellent opportunity to rework and simplify evergreen
felt a
major
little
systems in the
rumble
game,
just now.
like talents, professions, dynamic flying, trading post, cross-faction
Yes, we did.
games,
Holy, I felt it.
gearing
Yeah, dude, I
acquisition
felt it.
and
It was a
upgrading, solo queue arena and battlegrounds modes,
yeah,
the
that was
major
kinda scary.
revival of open world content, the removal of seasonal affixes which made Mythic Plus extremely easier
Okay,
and
so it's
forgiving
actually
than ever to do
Earthquake.
higher keys.
Holy shit.
The raids have been very simple in terms of complexity and amount of mechanics, but nothing too big or exciting in terms of hype in lore or cinematics, just a decent classic Warcraft adventure, and that works perfectly for a WoW restart. After all, that was their plan indeed, as they announced the World Soul Saga in BlizzCon 2023, which kinda works as a WoW 2.0, and Dragonflight worked as its foundation.
Armored Core has a lot of things on the UI, and even this is so easy to understand compared to this. It's that simple. You can't even understand what's happening. Like, people can't appreciate good play in
I want
the
to
game.
hear what he has to
You
say
don't even
to
know what
this.
it looks like.
You're literally watching a guy do a plus 26 key, which is the top 0.2% of the player base. What the fuck did you even expect, Asmon? Default Blizzard user interface on this guy's screen? For his performance level, an add-on that tracks how many inches his dick has shrunk over the last 5 years of playing Mythic Plus is important for him to complete the key in time. What the
I kind of disagree. I could agree with everything he's going at here, but I could agree with Asmon here. This isn't even that bad. I've seen worse screens, and especially in Arena, their whole fucking screen is covered in weak auras and trackers. I hate how the game enables you to play with the add-ons and you're just covered in add-ons. I'm highly against that, but World of Warcraft, people like the customizations of UI and whatnot and having that freedom, so I don't think it will change, but I don't like that. For new players to get into this game and having to understand how to set up everything, that starter can scare away some people. And I'm not even kidding. Like, speaking from experience from like friends and whatnot, they don't know what add-ons to get and what. We played this game for a long time, so we know how to set everything up and weak aura, etc. New players, they struggle with this, man. Like, I'm playing Classic WoW, and how many times do we have people coming in saying, what add-on is that? What add-on is that? Like, exclamation mark add-on and begging for add-on stuff. It's too much, I think. Too much add-on. I wish Blizzard would, like, filter a little bit of the add-ons. I don't think they ever will, though. I don't like how the add-on plays the game for you a lot of the times in Arena. Arena is a big case. And it's only allowed that way because Blizzard designs the game around that too. Like, they make the raid complex and make it around expecting that you have the add-on. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I guess it's with the expansion ongoing too. Before in Classic, you could hear the sound effect and there's not too many buttons, so you could keep track of everything. But now, dude, there's so many, especially in Arena, PvP specifically. They've been gutting it recently, but it's still bad. Yeah, I could agree with everything he's saying here, except for that part. I think the add-on is just too much. I hope, like, in a new game, new MMO, they don't allow too much add-on, and it's just you play with the visuals in that game, right? Kind of like Elden Ring too. You just have yourself, your little buffs, the boss, that's it. We shouldn't have like 10 million trackers, millisecond, everything. We should be able to visualize the game and play. Removing all the add-on would be great. No more gear score. I don't want them to remove everything, but it would be cool if Blizzard had like a little filter where you create the add-on, send it to Blizzard, Blizzard says yes, and then they have their own website with the add-on stuff. And they only allow a few add-ons, not allowing all these crazy add-ons that exist right now. PvP add-on should be disabled. It used to be like that too. In PvP tournaments, you weren't allowed to have add-ons, but now you're allowed to have everything. It's high effort for Blizzard, true. Here's what I think. I think giving the freedom is beautiful and letting them customize everything is nice, but it's some people make add-ons that are almost, it feels like a cheat code, man. And that's where the line is like crossed, right? But if everyone's using it, everyone should be allowed to use it. It's a very hard area to talk about, man. Sensitive too. I know some people will get mad about it, saying allow all the add-ons. But I just think it's too much. Anyways, let's finish this video.
Tracks how many inches his dick has shrunk over the last 5 years of playing Mythic Plus is important for him to complete the key in time. What the fuck do you even mean? Of course, he needs as much data and crap on his screen as possible. He's literally the top 0.2% of the player base. An advantage of bonus 0.01% awareness is incredibly important for him. Does a bonus of 0.01% awareness does anything for a guy who's struggling to do a plus 10? Obviously fucking not. That's the point. Do you understand now, or do you want me to explain it in classic boomer language? Hell, I've got one of the most minimalistic and add-on-free user interfaces a retail player can possibly have, and I do regularly high content with peak performance.
His UI
as
is
a new
pretty
player
clean.
too. God damn, it feels good to be right again. Let me debunk another lie of Asman. He recently said that people don't consume retail content. Are you serious, bro? Literally, your most viewed videos on YouTube are about retail. And don't get me started on other content creators.
We've got cat boys here that are doing hardcore WoW. That's because nobody wants to play retail. Straight up. It's just straight up the better MMORPG. It is.
No, I've spoke about this a lot. Classic WoW is just easier to understand and digest as content. Retail, like I said, the add-on and the UI and whatnot, it's just hard to watch as a new player. And especially if you're doing other stuff and have it on the side monitor, it's hard to follow along. That's really what it is. I think like world first raid log or those can be hype, but to repeat those, watching a high key or high arena, I spoke a lot about this a lot on my PvP. Like nobody understands what's going on in like high rated arenas unless they play arena a lot themselves. It's hard to digest as a viewer.
You absolute dumbo. Do you realize the power that influencers have? First of all, people watch their streamers. It doesn't matter what they're playing, people will still watch. So if a popular streamer wants to play Classic, does that mean people want to watch Classic or just the streamer they like?
Can I rehear that part?
People will still watch. So if a...
No, dude, they won't watch. They won't watch.
Do you realize the power that influencers...
I think his intro were strong good takes, but the last, I could see why it has a lot of dislike. The last few bit, he's on copium.
...have. First of all, people watch their streamers. It doesn't matter what they're playing.
Did it matter so much what I'm playing? If I play any other game, then wow, I'm gonna be one viewer Andy.
People will still watch. So if a popular streamer wants to play Classic, does that mean people want to watch Classic or just the streamer they like?
Nah, dude.
Furthermore, do you realize that if you tomorrow started doing retail sword runs, mount farming and transmog competitions, literally, you'd change the Twitch and gaming ecosystem completely with the amount of following you have? Have you forgotten how much hype you and few others had generated for Lost Ark? A game that right now its player base is 100 bots and 5.5 players? A dog-ass, shit-cock, garbage game that people liked only because it was hyped and played by streamers like you. Myself included, and so many others got hyped to play it themselves just because popular content creators did, not because the game was good. And stop talking shit about retail, a game you haven't played since Warlords of Draenor. You're rusty, old and bald. Obviously Classic is a better game for you, my boy.
Let's talk about Lost Ark. I don't think Lost Ark was bad though. I mean, somebody could make a video about this guy shitting on Lost Ark and say the same, right? I feel like if Lost Ark didn't have pay to win, I legitimately think it's a good game. I thought the raids were really fun. One of the best raid experiences I had. And I've done all the World of Warcraft raids, FF raids, including Ultimates. Lost Ark raids were fun for me, man. Super fun. If the pay to win shit wasn't there, it's actually a good game. I think it had potential and is the reason why it was popular at the start. But more people realize it's a lot of pay to win WoW and it's not really fair. So people stopped playing. I don't think it's a completely true of everything he said. His opinions lose all credibility once you start restored to personal insult. Yeah, I think he had a lot of grudge because I think the intro, he's correct on a lot of stuff, but at the end, he went a little derailing for sure. At the end of the day, boys, play what you enjoy, and you're not locked into one game, okay? You're not locked into one game. If there's a season drought, you go play other stuff and then come back.